How can you build a powerful personal brand using a platform like LinkedIn? Is it worth the time and effort? All of these we will be discussing in today's episode of the DFY Show. Welcome to the DFY Show, where we empower entrepreneurs, professionals, and business owners with valuable resources to accelerate their growth and unlock their full potential. I'm your host, Damilola Felicia Badmus, and in each episode, we will dive into the strategies, insights, and success stories that drive personal and business growth. Whether you're looking to level up your branding, master marketing techniques, or embrace entrepreneurship, the DFY Show is your one-stop destination for inspiration and knowledge. So grab your pen and papers and let's dive in. Now, as you know, or even if you haven't heard about it, but you must have been seeing it around where people say, oh, personal brand, why you have to build a personal brand is important in today's age and time, is important in this era of technology, is important in this era of social media. What exactly is personal branding? Now, I like to see personal branding as a perception of what people have about you. So I define it like this. A personal brand is essentially the perception of others about you as an individual. So what people say about me, even when I'm not in the room. Take, for example, you go for an event and then maybe someone just sees you and then they just be like, oh, you're Kylie, how you doing? And in as much as they haven't met you before, they must have seen traces about you, right? Either they've read your article, they saw you on social media, they saw you at the networking events. All of these are perception. And sometimes the way you dress, the way you talk, your belief system, all of these encompasses as who you are as an individual. So when you go somewhere or when people hear your name, what do they have to say about you? Did they say that, oh, you're a very interesting person. Oh, you have this qualification. Oh, you are so. And so all of this is what we consider a personal brand. At least that's my opinion. Now, I believe that crafting and creating a strong personal brand is important if you're looking to build your career and business. Though we know that we have obviously the online brand and we obviously have the offline brand. And I feel like we don't have to take both of them in different concepts, in different contexts rather, because your online brand is simultaneous to your offline brand. How do I mean? When you go somewhere or even in your office, how do people perceive you? Are you someone that probably is nasty? Are you someone that talks too much? Are you someone that doesn't have empathy for others? And then when you are online, you sound like you're the most perfect person in the world. Then that means that your online branding and your offline branding do not match. But if you're someone that has the best personality in the entire world online, and also you replicate that same personality offline, then we can say that your offline and your online brand matches. Now, we know that crafting and creating a strong personal brand, like I said earlier, is important if you're looking to build your career or business. Because we're in the world of technology, AI is here, and where I live here in the UK, everything is online. Or you want to check for star rating, you go to Google, you put in your question, and boom. If maybe where you want to order something from has a very bad review, you as the customer or potential customer would definitely retreat, because you sort of feel like if people are giving these reviews, that means then this company is a no-go area to buy or purchase from. So yes, creating a brand is very important. And it doesn't even have to be on LinkedIn only. It doesn't even have to be on Instagram only. Yes, offline brand, we've spoken about that, but now you're going deeper into the online branding. We obviously have different platforms. We have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube. And if you look at it, there are different people in different niches. And someone that might be extremely famous on Instagram might not be famous on YouTube. Have you ever had a situation where you probably see someone on Instagram that probably has like 1 million, or YouTube, your favorite creator that probably has like 50,000 subscribers, and in your mind I'm like, oh, I never knew this person existed. So that's it. Different platforms for different people. So but I think that LinkedIn is a very strong platform to build your personal brand. I started building my personal brand on LinkedIn, and trust me, it's the best thing ever. No cap, is the best thing ever. And aside from LinkedIn, you can build your brand through your websites, through blogs, through one-on-one networking. But for today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to build a personal brand on LinkedIn. Now, we are going to be having 7 steps, or 7 ways rather, on how you can build your personal brand on LinkedIn, and probably give you some bonuses at the end. So ensure you stay to the end of this podcast. So why should you even build a personal brand? A strong personal brand can help you to build authority in your field. It can help you to attract trust and credibility. Remember when we spoke about bad reviews earlier? If probably that company product is good enough, then they might have gotten a lot of good reviews, right? And that way they would attract the trust and the credibility of their next potential customer. So having a strong personal brand can establish you as an expert. It can get you new business opportunities, because we all need new business clients. We all need referrals, right? Having a strong personal brand can also get you noticed by recruiters and potential employers if you're an employee, or if you're someone that you're just trying to get your next available job. Now, I want us to keep in mind that personal branding is not just about self-promotion. It's not just about, hey, I'm here. It's not just about you trying to act all nice because you want to get from people. It's about sharing your unique value proposition with the world, letting people know why you are unique. Why should I trust you? What is so special about me? It's about sharing your knowledge. It's about bringing the best of yourself to the world to see. Now, let's get started into how you can build a powerful personal brand on LinkedIn. One, which cannot be overemphasized, is have a compelling LinkedIn profile. Now, I feel like people feel we get to talk about this over and over again, but this is very, very important. It's just like saying that you go for an event somewhere, or you meet someone at an event and everywhere is all busy, and then you ask the person, oh, what's your name, and the person says, okay, my name is Sarah, for example, and you probably want to check out Sarah on LinkedIn because you really don't have so much time, and then you go onto Sarah's LinkedIn profile, and then all you just see is a picture, and all you just see of her is account assistant or maybe management accountant, and that's it. There is no university attended, there is no experience, there is no summary, there is nothing to really show who exactly Sarah is. So that is why having a compelling LinkedIn profile is very important. And when we talk about compelling LinkedIn profile, what do we mean exactly? We mean having a good profile picture, for example, having a good headline. If you are someone that works with an organization, you can just say who you are, what you do. If you're a business person, you can just explain in few lines what you help people do. Right? You can also talk about who you are in your accomplishments, your skills, your summary. All of these adds up to having a good professional profile, because that way people can see you in a glimpse of an eye and have a very good perception of you in less than 1 or 2 minutes. The second point would be share unique and useful content on LinkedIn. Content is king, and this also appeals to LinkedIn because we all know that LinkedIn is a platform that is formed of content. You have the text, you have the picture, you have the video. All manner of content is really required on LinkedIn, because if you want to build yourself, if you want to tell people about you, you need to put yourself out there, right? So content is king, and it's very important for you to build your brand in a way that explains who you are authentically. And I would also advise that you avoid generic content that everyone has already seen. So that means that you really have to come up with something different about you, something that no one has seen, just something creative. And that way, by the time you start sharing your perspective, you should sharing your thoughts and things that you find interesting, you will start getting the right kind of people that aligns with your goals and objectives. The third one for me, which I find very interesting, is using LinkedIn SEO to make your profile search friendly. Now, what do I mean by LinkedIn SEO? Now, LinkedIn SEO means crafting your profile in a way that improves in rank in search results. So, for example, when you type my name, Damilola Felicia Badmos, you're going to see me come up. My name is the first thing you're going to see in the search engine because I've been able to optimize my profile in a way that when you type on that name, you're going to see profile about me versus someone that doesn't do anything with his or her LinkedIn profile. So let's say you have someone that bears a name Joe Roberts. We have, let's say, probably 20 Joe Roberts in one location. If Joe Roberts in, let's say, London is very active, or let's say one person that bears Joe Roberts is very active and posts consistently on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is going to take that person that posts more consistently and show his profile to people that types that name on the search bar. And how can you then make your profile SEO friendly? Obviously, like what I said regarding optimizing your profile, you have to have good quality photo, include phrases of who you are in your bio, in your summary, and also what you do as well. So sometimes they might want to search for marketing consultant. And if your SEO on your profile is very, very strong, your name can pop up, and that way you can either get leads or you can either get recruiters that can reach out to you, and that means that your chances of being visible has increased dramatically. Then you can also make use of hashtags because hashtags are a very, very good way to be seen. So for example, I remember that there was an event that I did and I made use of the hashtag. So it was more like LinkedIn offline hangout. Each time I make a post about that event, I use the hashtag LinkedIn offline hangout. And that way, when people go on the search bar and they type LinkedIn offline hangouts, my post will definitely come up. Why? Because I've included hashtags in a way that can make the post visible to more people. So next one, which is number 4, is use multiple content types, including visuals, including text, including videos, including infographics, including all manner of content type to make your post and your visibility interesting. So for example, I have someone who is a client of mine, he's a physiotherapist here in the UK. He wanted to be more visible on LinkedIn, and we did a profile audit for him. And what he used to do initially was he would just pick up some random big words from his physiotherapist dictionary, like I like to call it, and then just post on LinkedIn. And obviously, he didn't get any engagement because not everybody relates to what he has said except for his fellow physiotherapist. Now, we did a profile audit and we came up with a lot of interesting strategies. Like number 1, you have to write things that people can relate with. So what are the things that people can relate with from a physiotherapist's point of view? Number 1, backaches. A lot of people get to have backache sitting for long hours at work. A lot of people get to have new problem as they grow older. A lot of people get to sprain their ankles probably when they're playing football, when they're getting to walk around the house. So having your content written in a way that can help people solve their problem, what do you get in return? You get feedbacks, you get comments, you get follows, and at the end of the day, you also get leads from that. So working with content, and aside from the fact that you get to have leads, it also helps you establish your authority as a professional or as a thought leader or as a go-to person for a particular problem. So now that my client is seen as someone that they can go to when they have issues related to their health in the physio world. So that is the importance of creating content. And aside from creating just text content, we said okay, it can create video content because video content have a way of relating with the audience. They can see that you're real, they can see how you look, they can see how you talk, they can see how you relate with them. So having a video content is also a very good way of building your brand on social media, also on LinkedIn rather, also doing things like infographics. I use Canva because aside from the fact that they have the free option, there are thousands of templates that you can work with, and that has also to do with you knowing your brand colors so that you can have a consistent feel of your brand, so that anyone that sees, you know that okay, if you're using red today, you shouldn't just jump to yellow tomorrow. You shouldn't just jump to blue tomorrow or the next day. You need to have a consistent brand color. Other content types that you can play with also are doing podcasts like what I'm doing and just posting the link on your LinkedIn or turning it into other kind of content that you can feed your audience. You can write articles, you can write newsletters, you can just write a quote or use polls. There are a lot of options that you can try on LinkedIn. Next one is host webinars like LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn Audio to build your personal brand, to build your authority, and to make people know you better. Now, before I started podcasting, I used to do LinkedIn Audio, and trust me, it's a fantastic way. I still do it, by the way. It's a very fantastic way to build your community because people from all over the world, I had people joining from Nigeria, I had people joining from Spain, I had people joining from India, I had people joining from Italy, I had people joining from the US. So hosting LinkedIn Audio shows your expertise, shows you new ways to connect with people because people all over the world are connecting, and that way you can increase your network and also act and show that you are an industry leader. Next one we have, which is number 6, is interact and engage with your audience and try to show empathy. Now, LinkedIn is more of you give in, I give out, right? It's more of a give in and give out situation. You throw in the work. So it's not like a platform where you just make a post today and it disappear and you don't get to interact with your audience. Most times when people do that, their engagement drops because their audience feel like they don't care about them. And when they sort of make a comment on your post 1, 2, 3 times and they realize that you're not responding, they are not going to send you a message or comment on your post anymore. So you need to interact, you need to share, you need to like people's posts, you need to comment on people's posts because you're giving in. And as you're giving in the work, as you're giving in the comments, in return, people are also going to do the same thing back to you as well. Aside from sending personal messages, aside from commenting rather, you can also send personal messages to people and you can build a solid relationship from there. I've had a couple of friends that we are best of friends now because of one particular DM. And because when I send that DM, they go back to my profile, and that is why we spoke earlier about optimizing your profile. They look at your profile, they can have a glimpse of who you are through your profile picture, through what you do, and then they can be able to know that can I work with this person, can I be friends with this person? And that is how you build relationships. So having personal messages can also be a very good tool in building your personal brand and also building relationships. Next one, which is the final point, which is number 7, is build connection with strategic partners and influencers. So we know that LinkedIn is a great platform for connecting with strategic partners, and that means that you can have relationship with people that are more like people that you work with or you feel like you can work with. So take for example, we're using our physiotherapists as an example now. If the physiotherapist wants to scale his brand, he can just look for other fellow physiotherapists in his niche using the search bar, type in physiotherapist into so and so location, say physiotherapist in the UK or physiotherapist in London, and then he sees them. You can just connect with them, send them a DM and ask them if they are open to collaborate, maybe on like a LinkedIn Live or a LinkedIn audio event, and have a conversation on what are the key things to look out for when you're recovering from a new injury, right? So that kind of partnership is very strategic. And because of that, he can build his expertise and also help his fellow physiotherapists also scale up as well. Other strategic relationships can be maybe have a strategic relationship with an influencer who can help him build his brand and also help him get clients at the end of the day. Also, I'm just going to give a few more tips because I'm very nice. You can also speak at industry events if you want to build your personal brand. If you don't have any speaking events, you can just try as much as possible to send messages to people, ask them if you'll be opportune to speak at their events. You can join and participate in relevant groups. You can publish interesting articles on LinkedIn. You can seek endorsement, recommendation. These are just extra tips that I'm giving aside from the 7 that I've mentioned. You can provide value to other people, and all of these adds up in building your personal brand. And I must also say that building your personal brand is not something that you can do one day and then you forget about it. It takes consistency and it takes a lot of hard work, which means that it's just like you're piling up water in a big jar, because the more you pile, the higher the level you get to, and at the end of the day the jar gets filled up, right? That's how your personal brand is. You have to do the work, you have to connect with people. I'm just going to do a recap of what I've said. You have to have a compelling LinkedIn profile, share unique and useful content, use LinkedIn SEO to make your profile search friendly, use multiple content types. You can also host webinars like LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn Audio. You can interact and engage with others to show empathy. You can build connection with strategic partners and influencers. You can speak at industry events, join relevant groups, publish interesting LinkedIn articles or newsletters, actively seek endorsements, and also provide value with content. And for me, I've seen the incredible work, or the incredible result rather, that I have gotten from building my personal brand on LinkedIn. And I must also say that the more you build your brand, the more you get to discover that you have so much in you that you can give to the world. And by the time you start giving out the values, you start connecting with people, you're opening your mind to various things that you can't even think or imagine. So I would encourage you to start building your brand, and remember that LinkedIn is a powerful tool. And if you want to establish yourself as an expert in your field, you need to create a great profile and start networking. And don't forget that if you need more help or guidance in your branding journey, I'm here to help you, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn at Damilola Felicia Badmus, or visit my website www.royalbrandacademy.com. Until then, see you in the next episode.